First announced at CES earlier this year, the Nanoleaf 4D is a screen mirroring camera kit that syncs the colors on your TV screen to a gradient LED strip that you mount behind your TV. And if you have other Nanoleaf products like the shapes panels or the lines like I actually have here in the studio, you can even sync these with the 4D for a next level effect. It supports pretty much all of the major smart home ecosystems, including Apple Home, so you can easily integrate this into your smart home automations and things like that. Again, I have lots of Nanoleaf products here in the studio, so I was really excited to try this out. Now, I have never used any screen mirroring devices or sync boxes like this for watching TV or movies. In fact, I always thought they would be a little too distracting when watching TV. So let's give it a shot, test it out. I'll share with you my thoughts today. Let's go. Yo, what's up guys? Thanks for joining me. My name is Shane and this channel is all about building an easy Apple Home smart home with new videos and live streams published every week. Big thanks to Nanoleaf for sending me out their new Nanoleaf 4D. This was just released. Full disclosure, this was sent to me for free so that I could test it out and share it with you here on the channel, but there are no strings attached. In fact, Nanoleaf has sent me a number of their products in the past and they've really helped me kind of deck out the studio here, some of which I have paid for with my own money. Some were again sent to me for free for testing and reviews and that stuff. Anyways, just want to be straight up and transparent with you about all that. But again, no strings attached. I'm going to say what I want to say and give it to you straight up as always. With that said, the Nanoleaf 4D screen mirror plus light strip kit comes in a few versions, one with a light strip for TVs up to 65 inches and one with a light strip for TVs up to 85 inches. And you can also buy the camera only. The 65-inch one costs about $100 US. The 85-inch version cost $120 and the camera only cost $80. So why would you want the camera only? Well, if you already have some Nanoleaf products like the shapes or the lines like I have here in my studio and you don't want or need the light strip, you can sync these other devices to the camera and don't actually need the light strip. So these are available to purchase and are shipping right now from the Nanoleaf store. I don't think they're on Amazon yet. I'll double check, and if so, I'll put links, affiliate links and all that down below in the description in case you decide you want to pick one up. Now in the box we have our getting started guide that includes a Homekit QR code. We have some 3M sticky pads, the light strip itself. This is the one for TVs up to 65 inches. There's a power brick. Here is the camera. It includes a little cover for privacy. There's the mount for the camera, a control box with a few buttons on it. The camera plugs into the USB-A port, the light strip into the USB-C port, and the power into this other port. There are some corner mounts that can be used for wrapping the light strip around the corners of your TV, and that's everything that's in the box. I recruited a little help to take down the TV. Now this TV is actually a 65-inch TV and I have the light strip for TVs and monitors up to 65 inches, so right there on the line. As you'd expect, the light strip is pretty easy to install. Just peel off the backing to expose the 3M adhesive. You can use the optional corner brackets if you want, which I actually thought was pretty cool. I've never seen any quite like this before. If you've ever installed a light strip behind a TV or a monitor, you know that those corners can be a little bit tricky, so I really like that they included this. The brackets are flexible so they can bend around your TV pretty nicely. And they recommend installing the light strip at least 2 inches away from the edge. After some trial and error, I ended up installing mine without the corner brackets because I had kind of a hard time getting it all the way around my TV. Again, mine is 65 inches, which is at the upper end of that range. I would have liked to get it a little closer to the edge, especially along the bottom of the TV. You can see it has that thick part of the, at the bottom of the TV, which doesn't give much room for shining the light. So having that closer to the edge would probably have been nice there. Mine ended up being closer to 2.5 to 3 inches from the sides all the way around. So if I was gonna do it over again, I would get the bigger kit for screens up to 85 inches It's only $20 more, and you can cut the light strip to fit your screen if it's too long. That would have allowed me to get it a little closer to the edges there, especially at the bottom, and still get the light strip all the way around the TV like I want. Anyways, plugged everything in so I could make sure it was working. I went ahead and added the light strip in the Nanoleaf app. Just tap Add Device and choose the Nanoleaf 4D. You'll scan the QR code. Since I already have the Nanoleaf app and it's connected to my Apple Home, once I added the 4D in the app, it was automatically added to my Apple Home. The 4D will be exposed to HomeKit as just a typical color light or light strip. Once added, you can go through the calibration process. So I had to get the TV back on the wall first so I could do this. You can mount the camera above the TV or sit it on a shelf or something like that below the TV. I actually tried both, but at first I put mine above the TV. It has this weighted mount that kind of just sits and hooks onto the top of your TV. Once that was done, I can move forward with the calibration process in the Nanoleaf app. And it's actually quite simple and intuitive. You choose your camera's position above or below the TV. Then you need to identify the corners of the light strip. The corners will light up green and you kind of set where the corners are. And then you need to outline your TV. You can switch to full screen to get it more accurate. And really that's it. Now it's all configured. So I first started playing around with some of the settings to test it out. You can see here how it doesn't shine so good there at the bottom. That's kind of what I was talking about, since that part of the TV is really thick, basically flush up against the wall. I am using the slimmest wall mount that I could find because I wanted it flush against the wall, but that also means it doesn't leave a lot of room for shining light, you know, behind the TV, especially right there at the bottom. That 2.5 to 3 inches from the sides that I was talking about all the way around the TV does seem to be fine. Around the rest of the TV, just right there at the bottom where it's flush against the wall, doesn't really shine that well. The Sync Plus option is where you can sync other Nanoleaf products that are in the same room. This is something I was really excited to do since I have these other Nanoleaf products here. And here in the app, you can see I have 3 different Nanoleaf products that I can choose, 2 sets of lines and 1 set of triangle shapes. You can drag them around and place them roughly where they are in the room. All of your Nanoleaf devices need to be updated to firmware 9.2.0 or later in order to use them with the Sync Plus feature. At the time of recording, the Sync Plus feature does not support Nanoleaf Essentials products like the light strips or the smart bulbs, but we've been told that support for those will be coming with a future firmware update. So this currently works with the Nanoleaf shapes and lines, basically all their RGB products, except for the Essentials. It will also work with the OG rhythm light panels as long as those are on firmware 5.3 or later, according to the Nanoleaf documentation. All right, let's take a quick look at the app. The 4D section is really nicely laid out. There are 3 tabs: Basic, 4D, and Scene. Basic just lets you choose one color for the light strip. 4D is of course the mirroring section, so you have off, 1D, 2D, 3D, and 4D. So these are different mirroring modes, each with varying degrees of immersion, they say. 1D is really just ambient white backgrounds that kind of adjust the brightness. 2D is sort of the same, but with color. 3D, not really sure what this is. And again, 4D is supposed to be just that direct match of your screen. You can add rhythm, sound, reactivity to any of the screen mirror modes, which is really cool. So this isn't really great for movies, I don't think, but it's awesome if you're just watching music videos or listening to music with graphics and that sort of thing. And lastly, you can adjust the vibrancy of the screen mirroring. You have a cinematic option and a vivid option, pretty self-explanatory there. You also have custom, where you can fine-tune the mirror settings to fit your preferences. Lastly, we have the Scenes tab. If you've used any Nanoleaf products before, this will look familiar. Now, these are non-mirroring scenes that will affect only the light strip. Can share a scene to other accessories if you want to match them, you know, all your Nanoleaf stuff up. Magic Scenes is a really fun feature in the Nanoleaf app. This works with really any of the Nanoleaf products, but this uses AI to take any words or phrase that you input and translate that into a color scene for the light strip. This can be a lot of fun to play with. And these scenes and lighting effects can also be shared and accessed over in the Apple Home app, which is really nice if you're like me and prefer to use the Apple Home app to access and control all of your smart home accessories. Now the controller gives you some physical control in case you don't want to use Siri or break out your phone. There is a power button, a screen mirror button. This will cycle through the 4 different screen mirror modes. The rhythm scene button will cycle through different rhythm scenes that react to music and sounds, and a color scene button that cycles through default color scenes. So let me share my thoughts after using this for a little while. It has only been a few weeks, but I've had some time to watch some shows and movies with it here in the studio. Again, I have never used one of these screen mirror devices before, so I can't, directly compare it to others. I know Govee sells something very similar in the same price range, which actually has a dual camera on that one, but no HomeKit support, which is important to me, which this Nanoleaf 4D does have. Then there are those sync boxes that do similar things like the Philips Hue sync box, and Govee also sells one of those, I believe. These sync boxes are usually pretty expensive. Again, can't compare to those since I've never used any of them. Instead, this here is coming from someone who has never used any of these devices and actually, again, has been quite skeptical of this. I just always thought that the mirroring of the colors and flashing and stuff on the wall behind the TV would be a little distracting and actually take away from the viewing experience. And I was kind of right. I really like that Nanoleaf does give us these 4 different levels of immersion that we can choose from. I did typically find that the 3D setting was the most distracting, while watching TV or movies. 4D was quite good for certain movies. I kind of felt like this was best for those high action types of scenes, but did find it a little distracting really for everything else. 2D may have been the best in my opinion, just for like casual watching. All in all, I'm not completely sold on, the whole syncing the lights with the TV thing, at least not for watching movies or TV shows. And look, this is all completely subjective. This is just how I feel personally. I'm not a gamer, but I do imagine that these effects would be a lot cooler while gaming, kind of like watching those high action scenes in movies. I found that to be really cool and exciting. I did enjoy that. And if you're doing something like watching music videos or just graphics while playing music, it is really, really cool, especially when you have like the whole room synced up, and they're all changing colors and effects and stuff with the graphics on the TV. That was pretty awesome. And since I did have the other Nanoleaf stuff around the TV, this was great being able to easily sync these up with the 4D. I synced all of them, including the lines on the other wall way back here, but definitely found this to be distracting while watching movies. So like while sitting over there, I kept seeing the lights behind me or beside me flashing and changing colors. So I did like it best while watching movies, just to sync the lights that were on the same wall as the TV. But for graphics again and music and stuff like that, it's really cool to sync the lights in the whole room. I do really love having the Apple TV screensaver on just like throughout the day while I'm working and stuff like that. You can see it is on right now behind me. So I was really excited to see all of my Nanoleaf products in this room syncing up to the colors of those beautiful 4K screensavers on the Apple TV 4K. In fact, you may have noticed the lines back there on the wall behind me has been kind of changing colors throughout today's video, as it is synced with the 4D that's right over here on the Apple TV. If I change the screensaver some right here, you should see those lights back there on that wall kind of changing to reflect what is on the TV. I have them set really low so that they're not too bright behind me, so the brightness is turned way down, so they're blue now. Let's try to find something vastly different. Where's a green one? There's a pretty bright green one, so you can see them kind of changing colors and stuff there behind me. Really cool to have them all synced up throughout the room to match the TV. And one downside to consider with this product over something like a sync box that connects via HDMI is that this is using a camera to read the colors on the screen instead of HDMI. So, if you have other lights or windows and stuff like that in the room that might be reflecting or shining on the TV, this could affect the accuracy of the colors being mirrored. Again, if they're picking up other colors and reflections and things like that. The app and the setup process overall was good. It was very easy and intuitive. I did experience some bugs and things like that here and there while testing. Occasionally I'd get an error, and sometimes the Sync Plus feature wasn't working quite as expected, and I'd have issues getting all the lights, to mirror and sync up properly. I was able to work through that and get everything working right. Just know that it wasn't completely without any issues. I tested it with the camera mounted above the TV as well as sitting below the TV, which is actually where it's at right now. It seemed that I was having better mirroring results when it was mounted below the TV. Overall, I think it's really cool to have, especially with other RGB Nanoleaf products close by. Am I entirely sold on the whole screen mirror thing while watching movies? I don't know, probably not. Personally, I'd probably be fine with just a regular old light strip back there behind the TV as long as I can control it in the Apple Home app and I can still sync scenes and effects with my other Nanoleaf accessories that are close by, which you can do with, without the 4D. You can do that with regular light strips. Again, I do really like the way all the Nanoleaf lights can mirror my screen savers and the graphics over there. Just not sure how much I love it while watching movies. I don't know, maybe it'll grow on me. I'm glad that the 4D does support Homekit for sure. If you're like me, that might be important, and that does set this one apart from the similar Govee products. I did find that if you turn the 4D light strip off and then turn it on later in the Home app, it will resume the previously set mirroring settings, which is really good, and that kind of goes for all the the products that it's synced with. It does not appear to support adaptive lighting in Homekit right now, which is unfortunate. Another thing I'd like to see is shortcut support for the mirroring modes. There's currently no way to change the mirroring modes of the 4D, other than using the Nanoleaf app or the controller. I figured you wouldn't be able to do something like that in Homekit, so it would be cool if there was series shortcut support and we could change those settings, for the screen mirroring modes in our personal shortcuts and automations. Are you a fan of the screen mirroring effect for your lights behind a TV? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious what you guys think. I'm gonna keep using this behind my TV here in the studio with all the mirroring and stuff enabled, so we will see if it grows on me. If you want to check out my full studio tour, you can find that right over here. Be sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video or the next time I go live right here on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.